Hi there, this is Fallon Smith from Mindful Kids Coaching, and today I'm going to be talking about flipping your lid, which is this month's theme. Flipping your lid happens to everybody, so I'm going to explain how the brain works and why it's important to talk about this and what we can do to prevent it or reduce the amount of time that your lid is flipped. So let's get started with talking about our brain. Here's our brain. So this is our brain, and if you open up your palm, this is your spinal cord leading up to your brain. Your palm represents your brain stem. This is where all the automatic things happen from your body, like your breathing, your heart beating, your eyes blinking, things like that. Your thumb represents your midbrain, which is also your limbic system, and the brain stem and the limbic system work hand in hand together. This is where you store your emotions and your memories, and so this is also called your reptilian brain. This is where fight or flight happens. And then if you go over your thumb with your fingers, this represents your cerebral cortex, the whole thing. This is your thinking brain, and then right in front where your nails are, this is your prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain where morality happens and empathy and making good choices and being reasonable and flexible and solution focused. And note to parents, this part of the brain doesn't develop fully until 25, so keep that in mind. So when we experience a strong emotion or we get triggered or our buttons get pushed, boom, thinking brain is no longer there. We are operating from the midbrain. We are in fight or flight. We are operating from our animal brain. There is no reasoning happening. There is no thinking clearly, and there's definitely no learning. So the most important thing to do when you or your child is triggered is focus on getting your thinking brain back on. Because if you're here or your child's here, there's no need to talk because nothing's getting through. So that's really important to know. So getting our thinking brain back on is really important. So that's why it's so important to have your strategies, whether it's taking belly breaths, going to a place that makes you feel calm, going for a walk, whatever works for you. And then make sure your child also has a list of things they can do when they feel like their lid is flipped. Now, it's also important to talk about triggers. Like, for example, for me, if I don't get enough sleep the night before, that's a huge trigger for me. Maybe it could be even a past trauma could be a trigger for you. So it's really important to identify your triggers and know those as well. Another thing to know along with your triggers is how your body feels when you feel like your lid is about to flip. It could be tightness in the chest, it could be a hot face, it could be your fist clenching. So that's really important too. So also we have mirror neurons. What does that mean? So when someone is experiencing a strong emotion and their lid is flipped, here we are more likely to flip our lids too, because of those mirror neurons that kind of takes on the energy of the other person, which is kind of cool, but can be detrimental at times. So that's why it's really important, if you notice that your kid is kind of flipping here, that you need to stay extra calm because they are more likely to come back down because you're calm. But if you're flipped, your kid is more likely to flip. So just keep that in mind as well. So it's really important to write down those strategies that will help you calm down. Practice those strategies when you're calm, because we can't have access to those strategies when we're here because we're not thinking clearly to even remember the strategies. So it's really important to have them practiced and maybe put a visual up somewhere to show how to calm down. I put that on the blog post, as well as knowing your triggers and knowing your child's triggers. So if you know that they didn't get a good night's sleep or that they maybe didn't eat enough, that's really important to know. And then know that if they're starting to go like this, it's really important for you to stay calm as well. Super important. So that is flipping your lid, really important. We're gonna flip our lids. It's part of being human, so don't think that now you have this knowledge that you're not supposed to or it's never gonna happen. But now you can practice your strategies to help, if you feel like you're here, you can come back down here a little faster to get your thinking brain back on. Another thing I suggest is teaching this to your child. So also, if they feel like their lid is being flipped, they can just simply do this, because sometimes talking just doesn't work when your lid is flipped. So this can be an option too, like a quiet, like, I'm here and I need to come back here before we talk. And you can do that too to your child. So that's really important. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and have a wonderful day.